What's up, guys? This is MapCRimSoNCobRa here for some 3rd Gen OU battles for you guys. This battle is versus AceStarThe3rd, and since there's no real team preview, since it's 3rd Gen, we'll just get into the battle. So, I lead off with my Crobat, he leads off with his Aerodactyl. Now, obviously, this is a bad matchup for me, since, you know, he's Rock, and I can't really touch him, so I do switch out. I switch out into my Swampert, knowing that I could probably take any hit he dishes out. I'm assuming this thing's choice banded, and seeing how much this Earthquake does, my assumption is correct, because that does a lot of damage for a Swampert, like to a Swampert. So it's like, yeah. But I know that after curses, I can probably tank him out. So I do go for the curse as he switches into my Mother, which, you know, last time I checked, I'm fairly certain my Mother wasn't a giant steel bird, but you know, it's cool. I could be wrong, and I go for the curse, and you know, whatever, all that stuff. Now, I don't want to switch out here. I know I can't really do much to him, but I don't want to switch out because, one, I don't want him to go for Whirlwind on my switch and then he gets to scout out my team, as well as I don't want him to go for Substitute on my switch because that would suck too. So I just do stay in, go for the safe Ice Beam just in case, you know, whatever, and if he does go for Spikes, he goes for Spikes. And now, at this point, since he Whirlwinded me into my Hariyama, I'm assuming now he's going to go either for Spikes or for the Drill Peck just to do some damage to me. So I feel like this is the best time for me to go into my Magneton. And here he goes for Taunt, which I'm like, I don't really see Taunt Skarmory ever, so, you know, I don't know what's up with that. But he goes for Taunt, and now I just take him out with the Stab Thunderbolt from my Magneton. And that's a dead steel bird thing that's apparently my Mother. So, yeah. So, now he sends in his Raikou, I believe he does right here. Yes. He goes into his Raikou. Now, I know my Magneton, and he knows as well that my Magneton really can't do anything to him. Thunderbolt is only going to do about 1/4, if that, and HP Fire will do even less, so I know I really can't stay in, especially if he goes for a sub. And I decide to switch out as he double switches into his Umbreon. Now, Umbreon's scary. Okay, Umbreon in 3rd Gen was scary because it has that whole mean look baton pass thing, as well as it's just a hell of a wall, especially for 3rd Gen. So I really don't want to keep my Swampert in, so I decided to switch out, going to my Hariyama. As well as I'm fine with my Hariyama getting Toxic, just in case like he does go for that instead of my Swampert, even though my Swampert knows Rest, but I just rather would have this thing. But he goes for the Wish. Now I know that Wish, anything he's going to send in, I'm not really going to do enough damage to it as this Hariyama is bulky and not offensively orientated. So I do just go for the knocking off whatever item he sends in. And he sends in his Aerodactyl, which is really good, knowing now that I can, you know, go for a move without dying to a hit. But he goes for the Double Edge, predicting my switch, gets the critical hit. That is like the worst time to get a crit in this entire battle, was right there, because now my wall is pretty much out of commission, because it's not a wall anymore if it only has like 100 HP. But Rock Slide even does less, which is just stupid. Like, I don't even know how that works out. But whatever, knowing that I can't keep in my Hariyama at this point, I do switch out to my my Swampert as he goes for the HP Flying. If you guys don't know, HP or Hidden Power was based on the type, and depending on the type, it was either physical or special, so it's both. I remember one of the videos I uploaded here, people were arguing about what Hidden Power actually was. It's both, depending on the type. But, whatever. He switches out, goes into his Umbreon. I know at this point, he probably doesn't have the mean look, and if he did, he probably would have went for it. But I'm still kind of shaky about that. I mean, it might not have, you know, whatever. I could be just wrong. So I do decide to switch out. I believe I switch out into my Hariyama again for two reasons. One, I know that this Umbreon really can't do anything to Hariyama other than maybe Toxic it. And plus, if he doesn't do that, I can get free Leftovers recovery, so, you know, I get some HP back and all that fun stuff. So, you know, that's great. Now he goes into Gengar. Now Gengar, since this is especially defensive Hariyama, I was thinking maybe I could take a Thunderbolt. But he goes for Ice Punch, which I don't know if he just forgot that I had Thick Fat, or it was just a bad prediction. Now I go for Hidden Power, and I thought this was Hidden Power Ghost, and seeing how much damage that did, it actually is Hidden Power Dark, and Hidden Power Dark in 3rd Gen was special, and Ghost was physical, so that kind of screwed up there. I wish it was Ghost, because if I did go for the HP Ghost and it was Ghost, it would have done at least half to the Gengar, which would have been enough damage for my Crobat to Revenge Kill it with Aerial Ace, but since it didn't, obviously, I have to go for Shadow Ball, which he obviously knows I have a Shadow Ball. I'm a Crobat that I'm thinking he's thinking I'm banded, which I am choice banded. So I have to go for the Shadow Ball and not the Aerial Ace because nothing else would kill it. And he just goes into his Umbreon, which tanks the hit like nothing, and that kind of sucks. So, yeah. That's horrible. So, I have to switch. I don't know what to switch to because I'm fairly certain that whatever he does switch into, he's just going to go for Baton Pass. And he does. And I'm like, shit. Well, what do I do at this point? He has the Gengar, which obviously won't do anything. He has this stupid thing, which will HP Flying, will just OHKO me. So I have to switch out again into my Swampert to take the hit. And this Swampert can't take too many more hits at this point. Seeing how much, it's about half HP at this point. So, knowing that, actually, he's not banded. So I'm pretty sure that I can take at least 2 hits after a Curse, no matter what he does, which Double Edge is his strongest move, since, he has the Rock Head and all that stuff. And I go for the Curse, which, with the Curse, I know I can live another hit. So either his choices are to stay in and try and kill me, which won't kill me, or he switches out and gives me leftovers. He decides to go for Rock Slide to get the flinch, which is just, like, I hate him for even thinking about that, because he already got, like, 2 crits. But anyways, go for the Ice Beam. Ice Beam takes out the Aerodactyl, and the threat is gone now. And yeah. Now, Swampert, seeing his team that he's shown me, he doesn't really have an answer to my Swampert. So he goes into Gengar. Now, when he went into Gengar, I was really fearful that he had, like, either Giga Drain or Hypnosis or something. But he just goes for the Ice Punch. Now, you know what sucks about that is that he actually gets a critical hit. I can't believe this stupid thing has taken forever, but, yeah, spoilers. He gets a crit with the Ice Punch. That should happen any second now. Come on. Okay, he goes for the Ice Punch and he gets the crit. Now that was also like a super crucial crit because I went for rest here and I'm like, how many more critical hits can you get in this stupid battle? Like seriously. So that sucks. But at this point I'm thinking, okay, he has Thunder and Ice Punch. He didn't go for anything else on my Swampert. I'm thinking he doesn't have anything to hit me with, and that would be great because he would have to switch out into like Raikou or something. But he goes for Fire Punch. The turn I go for Toxic, predicting the switch, which would have been a great prediction. But he has Fire Punch, and Fire Punch totally annihilates my Magneton. I'm surprised I even live that because it's a Gengar and I'm a Magneton, but whatever. I live it, and I guess he predicts my switch again, or something, trying to save my Magneton, and he goes into Raikou, as I go for Thunderbolt, which, like I said, Thunderbolt's only going to do about a quarter, probably even less with damage variation, whatever, like if he went for a substitute. And I'm really hoping this Raikou isn't a substitute, because if it is, he's going to take out, like, half my team. The thing is, though, is that, Substitute Raikou, I mean, it was common, but it wasn't as common because Crunch was just too good of a special move back in 3rd Gen. So, most people actually didn't have Sub on their Calm Mind Raikou. So, I'm hoping that's the case in this case. And he goes for the T-Bolt. He doesn't... Yeah, he goes for T-Bolt. And it does about a third-ish. Does less than half, so I'm like, okay about that. And he goes for T-Bolt again. I guess he doesn't have the HP Ice. I was hoping I could live in HP Ice, but he shows that he doesn't even have that, so I'm like, okay, whatever. Or, I think actually, no, it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't go for HP Ice if he had it. But whatever, he doesn't have it. I go for Spore, and his Raikou is now asleep. Now, because of this, I know that this is probably the best time for me to go into my Charizard and try and set up a Belly Drum. And if I do that, I'm definitely going to take out the 3 Pokemon I do know he has, minus the one that I don't know he has. And he goes into Gengar. I know Charizard can live a Thunder from Gengar. I calced it. And I can get off the Overheat on him while getting my Slack Berry, which would be great. I mean, I'd rather get the Belly Drum off, but this is kind of too risky for that. And I go for the Overheat. I get a crit here, which is a well-deserved crit, because, he critted me like 3 times at this point. But seeing that, this is an Overheat from a Charizard, I mean, I know I'm not really specially orientated because I'm a Belly Drum Charizard, that it's not going to do that much, but it really did less than I thought, so I'm thinking that this thing is specially defensive, more specially defensive than defensive, so I'm hoping that a Double Edge could kill. But after he went for Protect, I'm not sure Double Edge would kill, and I don't want to risk going for the Belly Drum at this point because it won't get me into my Slack Berry range, as well as I lost Overheat, which I have to use Overheat on the Gengar if I want to sweep him. So he goes for the Wish here, and Breloom, I know that Focus Punch isn't going to do anything because he's going to go into Gengar, so I just decided to go for the Leech Seed here to hit the Gengar and at least get some health back before it's too late and I die and all that stuff. As well as I know that he had the Wish, so it's not really useful for going for a move at this point, even if he doesn't go into Gengar. So, knowing this, I go for the Leech Seed, and I switch out into my Magneton. I was kind of thinking maybe I'd live a nice punch, but I wasn't really thinking of it. I was just like, okay, Death Fodder, which, you know, he does die, because Magneton sucks, and all that stuff. So, again, like I said before, Charizard, probably the best time to set up at this point. I really want to go for Overheat, actually, right here, because if he does switch out, there's nothing really left he has that can take an Overheat, bar his Pokemon that I don't know of at this point. So I do go for the Overheat, and he goes for the freaking Explosion, and I wasn't even thinking of Explosion, because Explosion's like never seen nowadays on 5th gen, and I just wasn't even thinking of Gengar with Explosion, and I get demolished by that stupid thing. And that was probably the best Pokemon he could have chosen to explode on, which sucks. It just plainly sucks. And he now finally shows his last Pokemon, which is the Lantern, which is okay at this point, because I do have my Breloom, which Breloom can pretty much do enough to this thing that it'll take it out, or if Raikou wasn't asleep anyways. But either way, I'm happy it's this instead of like a Mince or something, you know what I mean? So I go for the Choice Banded Sludge Bomb. It doesn't even do half, which I was like, really? It's that weak? That sucks. But and he goes for the Thunder Wave on my Crobat, which totally cripples my Crobat, but it's not like it really matters since everything on his team isn't really offensive anyways, except for this Raikou, but this Raikou's asleep, so it's not like it matters. Go for the Sludge Bomb. It is a solid 2-hit KO on this Raikou. And since he hasn't had at least one turn of sleep, he's guaranteed at least one turn of sleep, so, you know, Sludge Bomb's going to take it out for sure, unless, you know, I get paralyzed or something, but that doesn't happen, thank God. And Raikou's dead. So now, at this point, I know I can go for Spore on another Pokemon. The thing that sucks, though, is that I poisoned his Lantern. I know that seemed like really lucky on my part, since it is only a 30% chance, but it's, you know, 30% chance. I can't Spore his Pokemon now, which actually is a very key factor, because I can't just go into Breloom and spam Spore until something's asleep, because he has a poison Pokemon. So, there's that. I switch out, go into Breloom. He does predict this again, and goes for the Toxic again. If you didn't see the last turn, he actually went for Toxic. This was probably the dumbest move on my part this entire battle, because I know this thing can't do anything to my Crobat, so why not just spam Sludge Bomb until he dies? I mean, I don't know what was wrong with that, but at this point, I'm just going to go for a Focus Punch. I know he's going to go for Protect and try and protect as many times as he can, but I'm hoping that, you know, he dies or something. Yeah, like I said, it's just a bunch of after-turn effects. I wish I sped this stuff up. But I go for Focus Punch again, he goes for Protect again, and he hits the Protect again, which is like so lucky. I don't even know how. I'd never have that ever happen to me. Like, I go for Protect, go for it again. Like, I've tried doing this, but I just know never to do it because it's only 50% after the second time. And I just never get 2 turns of Protect ever, and especially when it actually matters. This doesn't even matter at all because I know a Focus Punch will OHKO the freaking Umbreon anyways. And, you know, whatever. But I get the Focus Punch off finally. He goes for Wish, which was smart because now the Wish will hit his Lantern, which the Lantern is in desperate need of Wish support since it is under half, and it could probably, it's the best chance of taking out the rest of my team, which is a paralyzed Crobat and this stupid thing. I can't go for Focus Punch at this point, or Spore, or Sub, obviously, because I'll just die. Actually, I can't even make a Sub. So I have to go for Leech Seed here, which is okay, because I know my Crobat can at least live 1 turn, and hopefully with the Leech Seed and the Toxic, it'll actually take out the Lantern, but, you know, who knows at this point, really. But I go into Crobat. I'm hoping I can take at least 1 Thunderbolt, and then after Leech Seed, maybe I can live another, or that Sludge Bomb with Toxic and Leech Seed and all that stuff will actually be enough to kill it. But I mean, it doesn't really look like a 2-hit KO, so I'm just hoping that hopefully his Pokemon does not crit me with the stupid Ice Beam, and he does. He doesn't have Thunderbolt, which was a relief for me, because I know that Ice Beam definitely won't be a 2-shot, but he crits me. I mean, that's like the 4th crit. I hate you, because I lose now. Because, you know, I'm paralyzed, I'm obviously going to go second. Poison and Leech Seed doesn't kill it. It's so close. I was so disappointed that that didn't kill. And Ice Beam takes me out. So that's a 1-0. Good game. Ace. What the hell is his name? AceStarThe3rd? Yeah, AceStarThe3rd. Check him out. He does a lot of 3rd gen battles. He's really cool and stuff. And then check out my channel if you really want to see more of this. 5th gen battles. All that stuff. And that's pretty much it. So like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to PMP. And I'll see you guys.